Okay, you're looking at one of the Nazi propaganda that was put out for children during that time, and this is a anti-Semitic children's book published by Julius Streicher, and this book is basically about a mother and her young son, or her young boy, right? They're out gathering mushrooms in the German forest. This boy finds some poisonous ones. The mom explains, hey, there are good mushrooms and poisonous ones. And then she goes, look, just basically, I'm just going to tell you, human beings in this world are like mushrooms in a forest. There are good mushrooms, and then there are good people. There are poisonous mushrooms, and then there are bad people, right? And so the mother is telling her boy that they have to be like on their guard against all these bad people, and or the quote unquote poisonous mushrooms. And so she's basically, it's a metaphor. She's using poisonous mushrooms as a metaphor for bad Jews. She's eventually talking about Jews, I'm sure, as you can guess. And so, mom goes on, she explains to him, that, and she's like, do you understand? And he says yes, and he even goes further. The little boy goes further and says, is it kind of like, when you eat a poisonous mushroom, you may die, and so if dealing with bad people, they may cause me to die, right? And so she's instilling this negative view of a certain group of people, right, as a child in this story. And she comes on and she asks him, hey, do you know who I'm talking about? Do you know who these bad men are? These poisonous mushrooms, right, of mankind. And so the little boy is, with all this pride, he bangs his chest and he goes, of course I know. They're the Jews, Our teacher tells us about them all the time. And so even the teachers during that time were, all of them, everybody was feeding even the children, right? All of this propaganda and misinformation about Jewish people. The mom in the story goes on to, praise the little boy and tell him how proud she is of him for understanding, and she goes, there's different types of poisons, the Jewish peddler, the Jewish cattle dealer, the butcher, the Jewish doctor, even the baptized Jew. So she's saying every type of occupation that a Jewish person could have, she's trying to, get him to understand that no matter what they do, they're poisonous mushrooms, they're bad, bad mankind, right? And so she says, just like a single poisonous mushroom can kill, a whole family, right? So can a Jew. They can destroy our whole village, our whole city. They can destroy the whole entire Volk, what they called back then. Excuse me. So there were books again like this that I should say, catered, or their audience. Remember, we talked about audience, who the writer is writing for. And so this particular writer was writing, his audience was children. And so he's using a poisonous mushroom as a metaphor for kids to understand his point of view about Jewish people during that time. They're like bad, poisonous mushrooms. They can kill you. They're no good. And so that they're a danger, right, to the whole world, not just us. They're a danger to the whole world, right? And that they want the kids to learn that the Jewish problem involves the destiny of everybody, We've got to get rid of these Jewish people because, they're like these bad mushrooms. So, this is just some of the horrific propaganda that was put out, and children didn't escape it. They wanted the kids to adopt the same thought process and mentality as well, just simply because of the hatred that they had for this one group of people.